So Jesus offers that we're called to be witnesses, that you and I are called to live this out in people's lives. And he answers the question of where. And he names 4 different areas where we're called to be witnesses. Okay? In Jerusalem, in Judea, in Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. For his hearers and for us, he's saying, be my witness in Jerusalem, in our local area, okay? In the place where you live, work, breathe, do life. Be a witness for Jesus there, okay? Pretty clear and clear for his followers. And then in Judea, okay, this is the region, okay? For us, it's kind of like Michigan, Northern Ohio, some of this area where we might travel a little bit, but this is kind of our region. And then Jesus makes it clear also, hey, to the end of the earth, okay? Keep going. As far as you can go. Wherever there's people, go be my witness. And if you're reading carefully, you notice I'm saving one for the end here, okay? Because I'm sure, even as Jesus' followers mention this, they're like, okay, I get it, understand. But Jesus tosses them a curveball, maybe something they didn't expect. Or tosses them something that he's shown them throughout his earthly ministry that he wants to emphasize. Because he shares, you'll be my witnesses in Samaria. And for that, the Samaritans and the Jews were 2 very different people groups. Okay, even coming from the same source, basically, but very different cultures. That is, consider people who are different than you, that eat different foods, speak a different language than you, do life differently than you. Be my witness to them, is Jesus' words for us. Jesus wants to do extraordinary things through us. That we're called to have compassion on our sisters, on our brothers, and we can live this out in our journey. We're called to be his witnesses. So as the feeding of the 5,000, it happens before the feeding of the 4,000. There's more people than the feeding of the 4,000. It happens over the course of one day, and the disciples raised the need. They had compassion. They came to Jesus. Jesus, there's a need that these people have. Okay? So now let's dive into the feeding of the 4,000. So why include this second miracle with much of the same rhetoric in it as the feeding of the 5,000? And for me, as we consider this, as we consider how this happened afterwards, how it had even less people, but was over the course of 3 days, we see Jesus is the one who raises the issue. 3 days go by, and the disciples, having seen this miracle, sometime before, say nothing about the needs of the people there. And I think there's amazing things that we can gather in this. Even as Jesus says these hard sayings, you'll be my witnesses, but you'll have the power of the Holy Spirit, but you'll be my witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, to the ends of the earth. But Jesus also makes it very, very clear, you need to be my witness to people who aren't like you. And what if this was our starting point? Because I believe that the feeding of the 4,000 was recorded in here because the disciples were missing it, and Jesus wanted to show them. Hey, you might even have come to expect these miracles to take place, that God to be working in this area that you're so familiar with, because it's home, it's known, it's familiar. But understand this, that there's a place outside of your comfort zone where God is doing work, and he wants to involve you in that. And so how will we as the church let God take us out of our comfort zones to people who are different than we are, to have compassion, just like Jesus had compassion?